We have another amazing show for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about this piece of shit racist grifter who goes by the name ChudTheBuilder. Yeah. This guy, he's completely fucked up his life, man. But for those of you who have never seen this guy, let me give you a sample. Let me give you a taste of who this guy is, right? Watch this.
Fuck wrong with you, bitch ass nigga?
They chimping out. He chimping out. He said, what's the issue? Because I looked at him.
Chimping out?
He chimping out.
Put that phone down. Put
Why?
that phone down.
You don't like looking ugly?
Put that phone down, bitch ass boy.
Shut up. Come on, come do something.
phone down.
Come do something.
Put that phone
Pull
down.
up.
Oh, he got found.
Yeah, walk up.
Alright.
Yeah, man, this is usual suspects. Guys, these are the guys who are committing school shootings. These are the guys who are shooting up malls, shooting up universities. We actually just had another white guy shoot up a Brown University, which is essentially an Ivy League university. Bunch of innocent college students minding their business, trying to study. They go and they shoot it up. And so this is how they solve most of their problems, is with guns. They have the largest percentage of gun ownership in the country. These people are dangerous. These people are reckless. These people are emotional. But anyway, let's check this out. He goes, he instigates, he provokes two people. He starts calling them the N-word, and when they pull up on him and want to settle shit like a man with their hands, of course he pulls out a gun, because this is of course how these people, this is the only way they know how to solve their problems.
They chimping out. They chimping out.
Two people minding their business.
Dumbass. Yeah, turn your fucking music down and don't park in the fire lane no more. That's what we're talking about. Don't park in the fire lane no more. Dumbass. Chimping out. Get out of my face, boy. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Dumbass.
You know, it's crazy how these losers, they go out of their way to provoke and insult other people. And then when they get exactly what it is that they were asking for, which is an agitated person that wants to confront them for being such a disgusting human being, they then continue to provoke. You see, this isn't a guy who's just minded his business going about his day. He's going around insulting people. He's going around provoking people. He's calling people slurs. And then he wants to play the victim when they actually want to push up on him. But this is this guy's entire MO. He goes by the name ChudTheBuilder, calls himself a free speech patriot. Christ is king, America first. Again, Christ is king. They're always Christian. This guy, he claims to be an Orthodox Christian. They're always Christian. Christianity is a front for white supremacy. And we're actually going to see racists acknowledge that in a later clip. This is going to be the best video you've ever seen on this guy, post his downfall. And his downfall is magnificent. He is already begging for money. He can't find a job. Nobody likes him. He's getting rejected by white girls. The police have arrested him. He's just a complete pathetic loser. And now even the racists are abandoning him because they found evidence that he is just a complete grifter. He doesn't even stand on his racism all the way, as most of these people don't. We remember that clip with Nick Fuentes when he was confronted by the police. All of a sudden, he's a Mexican. He's calling himself a Mexican. He goes from being a white guy to being a Mexican.
You saying you're a white supremacist? I'm not a white supremacist. I'm Mexican. I'm not saying Fuentes. I know, I kind of a white supremacist.
And that's how you know all of these guys, they're just picking the pockets of low IQ, disgruntled, poor white people. That's all it is. That's all this is. But before we get into his magnificent and glorious downfall, let's learn a little bit about his origin story. How did this guy start off? So here's a post by this guy. Here is the original post that the BLM crowd canceled me for 2 years ago. I got fired and was forced to start my own company. Since I started my company, the chimps have been trying to starve and harass me the entire time. Professional victim, these guys. They want the gun to my head apology. It won't happen. Of course, his phone is on 1% when he posts this, because this is a reflection of who this guy is as a person. His life has been falling apart his entire life. He's been a loser. He's been incompetent. He's been a lame his entire life. And then eventually he had the bright idea that he can just blame all of his problems that he has caused for himself on black people. And of course, he's holding up a cross because, again, Christianity is nothing nothing more than a tool of white supremacy. But anyway, this isn't about shitting on Christianity right now. Let's talk about this guy. This is a woman that posted this guy. My mom is driving me to school, right? This guy almost sideswipes us, so we went in a different lane. He came over and spit on my mom's car, and I asked, "What's your problem?" And he says the hard R, and held this up because of course he does. So this is what we do now, y'all white people calling black people hard R's? Crazy. And so as he already acknowledged, he eventually gets fired from his job for being a piece of shit racist, and then he has to start his own business. But because he lives in a relatively small town, everybody learned pretty quickly that he is not to be associated with and that he's a scumbag individual. And I found an excellent meme that perfectly describes the mental condition that this guy has and men like him, right? This is known as the whining white man. The whining white man suffers from reproductive insecurity and fear of competition. He spends endless hours online crying about feminism, Jews, multiculturalism, and immigration. Anyone who's not a white male making progress is seen as a threat, and he will resort to psychotic verbal attacks to justify his racial hatred victim narrative. Here are some common phrases that you will hear from the whining white man. They don't know what's coming. The Jews. I'm not jealous, I'm disgusted. Asian women are made for Aryans. Of course, these men, they always flock to Asian women because white women aren't completely uninterested in them. We need to start shaming race mixers. The Jews. I can't find a wife, so I'm going to end the world. I want to say the hard R. I shouldn't have to compete with brown people. And this is really what it all comes down to. They don't want to compete because they're incompetent. These people always talk about a meritocracy, yet these people are always asking for handouts, like this guy does by the end of this video. He's already begging for money, as they always end up doing. But this guy's such a piece of shit, not even white people like him. Most white people don't like this guy. Even racist white people think he's a complete idiot. But anyway, here's an interaction he has with two white people, okay? So of course he puts on the title, "Fat whale mud shark came and shoved my girl the second we walked in the bar. Shame." And here he is with his goofy ass face and his goofy ass mustache, videoing the entire interaction. Let's watch.
They're chimping out. Look at her fat ass chimping out.
No.
They're chimping out. Look at her fat ass chipping out.
Right. These people, they're obsessed with black people. There's not a single black person in this video yet. He's like, they're chimping out. They're chimping out. It's like he has some kind of mental illness, right? This is like a tick, a verbal tick. It's like Tourette's disease. And of course, like the pussy he is, he cuts the video at the point where he's getting confronted by a shorter, older, overweight white man who is going to check him and his pussy bitch ass for acting like a fucking jerk and a tool bag. He cuts the video because he doesn't want you to see the part where he's apologizing and groveling and runs away like a scared little girl when he gets checked by what I can only discern from this video as a real man. Here's another video where he gets kicked out of a restaurant once he's recognized as being the cringe racist dweeb with a mustache. Look at this.
Refusing service. We have the right to refuse service to anybody.
For what?
We have the right to refuse service to anybody in our restaurant.
Is it because I say be honest? I'm a white man that says the N-word. That's why you don't like me.
We have the right to refuse service to anybody in the restaurant.
You gotta love it. Freedom of speech is not free anymore.
Please.
That's right.
It's so crazy. He's constantly, all of these losers are constantly crying about they're fighting for the freedom of speech. Could you imagine that? He's fighting for a right he already has, and he exercises freely all the time. If you did not have the First Amendment, you could not speak like this. But it's precisely because you have the First Amendment, you have the ability to talk like this and be a complete jackass and be a complete just degenerate, and you don't suffer any legal consequences as a result of it. If somebody puts their hands on you because you say you speak like this, they're the ones that are going to jail, not you. So you already have the right. He's male, he's white, he seems to be educated to some degree, like he went to at least high school. His face isn't terribly deformed. And so the point I'm making is he has no excuses to fail in life. Using through his worldview, he literally has no excuses to fail in life, but yet he has failed horrendously. Even before he was canceled, he was a poor, mediocre white man with very little accomplishments and no money. And so when he looks in the mirror and sees how pathetic his life has turned out, even though he literally was born with all the privileges you could ask to be born with, probably except being born to wealthy parents, that's the only thing that he's probably missing out on, he has still failed to make anything of his life. His life is incredibly unremarkable. And so what has he resorted to? He has resorted to being an online racist grifter. And I'm going to show you that he's a grifter and he doesn't even believe the shit that he says half the time. Here we have a video of him getting rejected by white girls because they think that he's a despicable human being. And this is the reality that these guys face. It's so funny. They end up like this because they listen to dudes like Nick Fuentes, who is an incel and is, from what I can discern, a homosexual. He's been caught streaming gay porn on his stream. He's hanging out with cat boys. He despises women. He has no interest in dating women. And so from my analysis, Nick Fuentes is a homosexual. And so these losers, they flock to listening to guys like Nick Fuentes, thinking that somehow that's going to make their lives better. Don't you understand that if you follow a guy, you're probably going to end up having a life similar to that guy? He was already struggling with women before, and now he's made himself even less attractive to women by being this way. Let's check this video out.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Shu. Leave you alone, you racist predator piece of shit! I don't want you because you're a fucking racist predator piece of shit. Look at everyone else in here that's looking at you. Please, everyone.
Me and everybody here get along. Except you guys.
Right.
Completely and utterly rejected. You see, at first they didn't recognize him and they looked at him and they probably thought, you know what, this ain't such a bad looking white guy, right? He has a camera, they're being friendly, but as soon as they see who he is as a person, they don't want him. And so to any white men who are falling down this rabbit hole, going down this red pill, Christian nationalism, conservative pipeline, understand that this is your destiny. You already are having a hard time with women. You're just going to make it 10 times harder going down this route. Now, what guys like this would like you to believe is that all they do is expose black people for behaving poorly. But in all reality, they desperately try their best to agitate black people and seek out black people to put online because it's so hard for them to find black people behaving in the way that they like to tell the world that this is how all black people are, or this is how most black people are. Yet he struggles on a daily basis to actually find any evidence of that, right? I've scoured the entire internet trying to find as many videos of this guy as possible, and I could only find one video. This is what he's built his whole brand around for 2 years. I could only find one video where he was just like in a Walmart and there was a black woman who was upset with the customer service she was receiving, and she was getting loud and she was being boisterous and she was being upset, and he records that in the background, and of course he's like, oh, they're chimping out. Well, if this is the case, if this is how most black people are, why don't you have 100 videos like this? Why don't you have 1,000? You only have one. It's because it's a fantasy. It's not reality. This is not how most black people behave. Just go down to your local Walmart, stand around for an hour and see if you find a black person behaving like that. I promise you, you won't. Stand around for 5 hours. You're not going to see it. It doesn't happen very often. Now, of course, he's gone viral on the internet for acting like a dumbass, and you always have black people in the comment section basically saying, oh, you only act tough because you walk around with a gun, you're scared, you're pussy. And so what does he do? He films this video of him standing supposedly in O Block. He's trying to paint this image that he's in some kind of hood somewhere and nobody's gonna touch him. Look at this.
I'm out here on O Block. Where the fuck you is at? I'm like 6'9" on O Block. Where you is at?
Now, of course, just like 6ix9ine though, he posts this video and he hops in his car and he drives back to his house immediately before anybody shows up. But he wants to paint this picture that he's a tough guy. He's not afraid of black people. He just tells black people how it is. He says it straight to their face. But here's a video of him going to a gas station in a low-income black community, and just watch how he behaves. Look at this shit.
Hold up. You fuck with it?
Right? He gets a compliment from a black guy who he would describe as a YN, who of course is just minding his business, probably picking up some Black and Milds or buying a fucking Coca-Cola from his local gas station. He gets a compliment and he starts to blush immediately. Oh, you fuck with it? These men, these people, they're actually desperate for black approval, and you're going to see that even more as this video continues. It is their greatest desire to actually be embraced by black people.
What do you say? What do you say? You ain't seen a mustache like this in years?
I don't know what he said.
Where'd he go?
Look, 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 look. He's hunting him down. He's chasing him down.
What up, bro? How you been?
Look, look, look. Oh my God, black people are so scary. We're so violent. He gets a compliment from a black guy who doesn't know him. Another elderly black man who's just sitting by the gas station minding his business asks him, you know, how's your day going? And this is the low income black neighborhood that they want you to be afraid of, right?
Hey, what'd you...
When in all reality, it is a small percentage of black people in these communities that are actually committing any violent crimes of any nature. Most people are just trying to mind their business, pay their bills, and have fun on the weekends. That's what the grand majority of all people are doing, including poor black people in the hood. But look, he goes and he chases this guy out to his car, begging for him to hear the compliment again.
Tell you my mustache? Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Hey, I get a lot of shit from homies. All the YNs hate on the mustache.
All of a sudden, where is the pretentious white man voice? He puts on his best black accent. Oh, all the homies, you know what I'm saying? They give me a lot of problems, da-da-da.
So, hey, I appreciate y'all.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. Oh, wait, whoa, what's going on here? He wants so badly to be embraced and to be liked by black people. But the reality is, when you go around looking for trouble, eventually trouble finds you. And he ends up getting arrested as a result of behaving like a buffoon. Look at this.
Dumbass. Yeah, turn your fucking music down and don't park in the fire lane no more.
Was an online influencer arrested for making racist videos? Well, not exactly. According to a post he made himself, the real reason for the arrest might surprise you. Here's what really happened to Dalton Etherly, also known as ChudTheBuilder. Dalton Etherly, a Tennessee contractor and social media figure known online as ChudTheBuilder, was arrested on November 19, 2025. He had over 70,000 followers and became known for filming confrontations in public, often using racial slurs and provoking people while carrying a firearm. Many believed his arrest was tied to those viral videos, but according to a post he made on X, his harassment charge was actually for something different. In his words, the crime of the century? Call forwarding. He claimed he was arrested because he allegedly forwarded calls from his phone number to another person's number. Someone he says had been publicly posting his address and phone number for months. So instead of being charged for recording and posting controversial videos, his harassment charge was reportedly connected to misusing call forwarding to direct unwanted calls to someone else. That's important because it changes what the case is legally about. It's not directly about speech or content. It's about alleged digital harassment through call redirection. Still, his online behavior played a major role in the story. His confrontational and racially charged videos created outrage across social media. Multiple people featured in his videos filed complaints. He was fired from his contracting job, and his personal and even family information got leaked online, leading to threats, confusion, and calls for legal action.
And so ChudTheBuilder here learned the hard way that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. Turns out when you go around being a piece of shit, harassing people and trying to farm engagement and farm views by being a degenerate racist, a lot of people end up not liking you. And the second you fuck up, they're going to find a way to make sure that you pay for your actions. Now, of course, he wasn't actually arrested for being a racist, degenerate piece of shit. He was arrested for online harassment. However, an interesting consequence came out of that. The judge decided that as a result of his actions, he is no longer allowed to carry a firearm. And of course, once they stripped him of his gun, oh my gosh, everything changed. Everything changed. Here is him whining about the fact that he was arrested for breaking the law. Check this out.
For weeks, I've been getting harassed. I report the harassment. I made some videos where I stirred some people up, but I did nothing illegal in those videos.
Stirred some people up is what he calls it. No, you were harassing people, sir. You made videos harassing people, but check this out.
The clips of my videos that have been defamatory and slanderous, saying that I did something illegal, have been going viral as well. The Clarksville PD gets all the pressure from the people believing those slanderous videos, and they say, why haven't you arrested this guy? They look into me, they make a post saying, hey, we're investigating on whether we can do anything and charge this person. They see I did nothing illegal. Then I allegedly forwarded my calls for a single day to a person who's been posting my number saying, call this person.
Why are you using the word allegedly? You did do that. You did. That's why you were arrested. That's why you had your gun taken away from you.
And they come and arrest me for the harassment that I've been reporting that they do nothing about. Then they paint a target on my back and say, you're not allowed to leave the state and you can't carry a firearm.
Ooh.
If this doesn't sound like conspiracy to have somebody killed, I don't know what is.
Well, you wouldn't have to worry about someone trying to kill you if you didn't go around provoking black people and agitating them and calling them hard R's. You would have nothing to worry about. I mean, if you didn't have that gun on you, reality is, you know, you'd get your ass beat, because this guy's also incredibly small. He wears a small t-shirt. There's a post where he acknowledges that. Let me see if I had that queued up. No, I didn't have that one queued up, but just take my word for it. This guy, he's tiny, man. He's a real small individual, probably about 5'7", 5'8". Now, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. Here we have another racist who actually gets bitch slapped, and yes, I'm gonna show you him getting bitch slapped, and it wasn't even by a black person. That's the best part about it. Here's him reacting to Chud posting a video of the police pulling up to his house to arrest him.
Being woken up by sheriffs all at my house saying they're coming to take me to jail for violating allegedly my conditions of release. I've done nothing wrong. I've contacted,
as well as this woman right here, Lily Gaddis, who we also reacted to. She's also completely destroyed her life by attempting to do Nick Fuentes and be a racist grifter online. You know, it's so amazing.
Nobody, yet here they are. White lives don't matter, apparently, to the judicial system.
Genuinely,
this guy wants to be able to break the law and get away with it. I mean, truly pathetic.
Fuck the cops. You guys do not have our backs. You guys are the fucking enemy. I fucking puke in my mouth every time I see a cop out here handing out speeding tickets.
So they used all their kind words and apologies to blacks. They groveled to blacks when they pulled them over. So then when they finally get a white person, they can really let it all out on them and just absolutely treat them like shit. Honestly, you are pigs. Like, yeah, I agree.
Again, these people are so fucking just, they lack so much self-awareness. So black people are unreasonable for not liking the police, even though the police have a long history of abusing their power, killing innocent black people, treating black people unfairly. And this is shit that has been documented and studied by Ivy League universities. It is a fact that black people are treated more harshly by the police. We are manhandled more by the police. Non-lethal violence is used more readily on black people. Even when you control for, you know, the rate of violence in a neighborhood, the kind of crime or the reason for the traffic stop, it's just a reality. But yet black people are always playing the victim, and we're not justified in saying fuck the police. But here we see a guy who is about to be arrested for actually breaking the law by doing what he did via the whole digital harassment, where he forwarded calls to somebody else's phone number, which is illegal. Now, sure, the person who doxed him probably committed a crime as well, but instead of actually going to the police and reporting that, what does he choose to do? He chooses to also commit a crime, and he wants to play the victim when he has to suffer the consequences of committing that crime. But anyway, a very minor incident. The police are just doing their job in this situation, and they are like, fuck the police for that. But black people, we get treated like shit by the police, and we're somehow crying and playing the victim when we say fuck the police. You kill our people, but we're not justified in saying fuck the police. You get arrested for actually breaking the law, and you're saying fuck the police because they're not protecting you as you're being a racist, degenerate piece of shit criminal. You see, these people, they're nothing but a bunch of big old crybabies, incompetent, poor, broke, stupid, truly a bunch of babies. Now, here, I have a small treat for you. Woman propaganda just got slapped and he tucked tail and ran. This is what's wrong with the pro-white movement. There are too many dweebs that have never been in a fight in their lives.
You invited him to your fucking club. You gave him a ticket.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay, let's leave. And this is why I said, and look, man, yeah, you shouldn't put your hands on people just for what they say because of the fact that you're the one that's going to go to jail. But it is actually just an assault misdemeanor to open hand slap someone in the face. And it's not a felony. I'm not telling you to do it, but this is what needs to happen. And I'm glad the person who did it is the person who did it. I think this guy is actually a Jewish guy. He's overweight. He's shorter than him. Well, actually, I don't know if he's shorter than him, but he's overweight. He's short. He's older than him. And he tucks tail and runs. And the reality is, even if he presses charges, a guy like this, I mean, look how he's dressed. He's got on fucking suspenders. This guy probably has lawyers in his family. He has money. He could make bail, right? He could pay whatever fee he has to pay. Like, it's going to be between $500 and $2,500 if this guy actually pressed charges on him. But he didn't even stick around long enough to call the police or get his name, and so he wouldn't even be able to tell the police who did this to him. He's such a bitch, he's such a pussy that he ran away. And it's so funny because he brought this other white guy with him, this other bigger white guy with him, and look, it didn't do him any good. He ran away as well, and then he walked him down. He walked him down. This is so hilarious, man. Look at him running away like the scared little bitch that he is. And that's why I tell you guys, you don't have to worry about these losers who talk about civil war this and we got to take our country back. They're a bunch of pussies, man. They're a bunch of pussies. Real white men, even if they're racist, but real men who happen to be white, and even if they're racist, they're busy actually living lives, like being productive, actually like taking care of their families, having wives, making money. They don't have the time nor the desire to start a civil war. And the reality is, it would accomplish nothing. Their lives would not get any better as a result of going to war with minorities or black people or people of other marginalized groups, because we are not the source of your problems. The real source of your problems are the white billionaires and the white politicians that you vote for and are friends with the billionaires, who are fucking you over via hyper-capitalism. Your life, it would not get any better. In fact, it would only get worse. You think gang violence in Chicago is the reason that you can't afford a house, you fucking idiot? You think gang violence in Chicago is the reason why you can't find a wife in Alabama, you fucking idiot? No, dummy. It's because you and your ancestors have consistently put people in power that have just been slowly robbing you and your people of all of your wealth and all of your power and putting it in the hands and the pockets of billionaires who just continue to fuck you over more and more every generation. But back to this loser Chud the Builder. Just check this out. Even his church, which they didn't kick him out immediately, because again, Christianity is a front for, say with me, white supremacy. And so they were perfectly fine with this racist white man being a part of their congregation for as long as he was. But eventually they had enough, and even they had to kick him out. Here's what the priest of the Orthodox church that he was going to, here's what he had said to him via text message. Dalton, and what a fucking goofy name. Dalton, for the safety of everyone involved, because of all the death threats, please just stay out of things. Until things are better, praying for you. But please stay out of the community. Wow, he has been thrown out of his church. Chats, and stay away from the church property. You and I can have a visit, right? So the priest is like, I'll still come and talk to you. I'll still come and counsel you. I'll still pray for you. But it says you and I can have a visit somewhere at some other location, but stay the fuck away from the church. He says, praying for you often. And then how does Dalton respond? He doesn't say, oh, wow. You see, this is how you know these people, they don't even believe this shit. Christianity is just a culture that they like to embrace, and it's a mask for their racism. But he doesn't say to himself, well, this is a priest, a man appointed by God. He's trying to tell me that I am not behaving properly. He's kicking me out of the church. Maybe I should repent. Maybe I should reconsider the way that I've been acting. But I don't give these priests and Christians any fucking, I don't give them any credit for even this, because if this was the 1940s, they would have no problem with his behavior. But anyway, we continue. This is what Dalton says. LOL, yeah, good luck with that. These people want to see me dead. I would say a word. They want to kill me. This guy goes around harassing black people, right? Calling them vile things. And then he wants to cry. Oh, these people don't like me because I just say a word, acting like black people get mad because you say the word elephant or say the word tambourine. No, you go around essentially spitting in the faces of black people verbally, and then you want to cry and be a victim when they want to punch you in the face for it. They want to kill me. I think I've done he has never had an attempt on his life, by the way. No black person has ever put an attempt on his life. I think I've done my job at exposing who is the hateful party in this whole situation. The history of the hard R, that word, is filled with nothing but hate, but yet he's crying that these people are so hateful. They don't like me when I say hateful things to them. And of course, he plays the victim and tries to be a little bitch, whining to his priest. He says, glad to know the persecution and threats of murder are blah, 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 whatever the fuck he said. Again, trying to gaslight, trying to guilt the priest into letting him back into the church. But it gets even better. Check this out. Look at this. So one of these white supremacist losers who had actually donated to this guy, he regrets making his donation. So even the white racists who are actually consistent with their racism, even they are starting to turn on him. Look at this. Look what he says. I regret donating after this. Look at what he says. You see, that's the one thing I appreciate with these guys who are more consistent with their racism. They say it how it is. They speak the truth. And for some reason, a lot of people don't want to listen when they speak. But look at this. He says, I knew this Christian shit was going to come back to bite me in the ass. Chud the Builder, you need to lose the Jesus rabbi and embrace racism. Christianity is fake racism. It is covert racism. And that is the truth. But look at this.
I'm not racist. I became very popular as the racist contractor. I'm not racist, have many black friends, but we're not even going to go there.
I'm not racist. I have many black friends. Wow, as his life crumbles around him and he is being rejected by pretty much every facet of society, including his church, all of a sudden he wants to let you know that he has many black friends. And I don't believe he has many black friends, but the reality is, as we already saw in a video we looked at earlier, he is actually very much desperate for black approval. Remember when he ran up to this guy and was begging to hear that compliment again? This shit made his entire week.
Hey, what'd you say, my mustache? Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Hey, I get a lot of shit from homies, all the YNs.
He loves black people. He wants nothing more to be embraced by black people. They are attracted to black people. They want to have black babies. They love black people, but I don't know, man. Their lives they just couldn't figure out life. And so they resort to this in order to make money. So here is the climax of the situation. He creates a give, send, go, right? He's now begging for money. Essentially, he's begging for reparations. He feels like he's been mistreated by society. And as a result of that, he deserves other people to give them money. But yet black people who have been just oppressed and brutalized by this society to a degree that no other racial group has in this country, no other people have in this country, black people are wrong for wanting some form of assistance from the government to rectify the sins of their ancestors. But here's what he posted on his Give, Send, Go. My name is Dalton. Oh, this is the music it deserves. My name is Dalton Earthly, and I'm reaching out with a heavy heart, fighting to protect my family and my business. Just over 1 year ago, I started DLE contracting in Clarksville, Tennessee out of sheer necessity. I was fired from my previous contracting job after BLM activists targeted me over words I shared online. Jokes and opinions. Jokes and opinions. They don't even mean this shit, man. That's how they want to frame it. These people don't stand on it. They have no beliefs. They have no ideology. They're confused. They're sad. They're pathetic. They're desperate. Right? Jokes and opinions they twisted to end my career with no other way to support my family and my precious 2-year-old son. You weren't thinking about your 2-year-old son when you decided to run around acting like a complete fucking retard? Okay. I poured everything into this small business, working tirelessly to provide for my family and build a future. But now that dream is under attack, not for the quality of my work, but for what I say online. Last time I checked, the courts didn't take away your business. You still have your business. The reality is that most white people, even if they are racist and even if they have anti-black sentiments, they would like to fancy themselves as not being racist. And so they don't want to associate with people like you who is just running around saying the hard R for views online. This is how they continue to lie to themselves and convince themselves that they're not actually racist. It's why they watch Candace Owens, when they watch the Hodge twins, when they watch the Cartier family, when they watch Candace Owens, when they watch Brandon Tatum. That is their way of convincing themselves that they're not actually racist. I shared mild jokes, unfiltered thoughts, and yes, sometimes I've used the N-word in what I thought was edgy, harmless humor. Sir, when you speak like that and you help to normalize that culture, you are pushing the racist forward. You are helping to embolden racists to be nasty and aggressive and hateful towards black people. Well, as that seed grows and matures, it is going to turn into people attacking black people. So there is nothing harmless about your form of humor. So he has a goal of $100,000 and he has managed successfully to beg $30,000 out of his $100,000 goal. And it doesn't look like he's going to hit his $100,000 goal, because every day that goes by, this story becomes less compelling. Now the racists are actually pointing out the fact that you say you're not a racist, that you using the hard R, it was all jokes, you have plenty of black friends. And so now you're disincentivizing the few people who would actually want to help you out. You're even disincentivizing them from helping you out and donating to you. And so I doubt he's actually going to hit this goal. But even if he does, in 2025, $100,000 is not a lot of money. This guy, he makes bad decisions. So clearly he doesn't also know how to manage money. He's a professional victim. And so my point is, even if he hits this goal, which he won't, but even if he did, he's going to burn through this money in a year or two. And then what? He's going to be back to square one. Nobody's going to want to work with you. No one will want to hire you. You are going to be poor and broke the rest of your life. Poor and broke the rest of your life. And let's take a look at some of the donations that he has received. Well, as of making this video, the most recent donation he received was 15 hours ago for $10. Before that, he got a $5 donation 20 hours prior to that. Then another $10 donation, then another $15. This guy got a $300 donation prior to that. Right. But those big donations, they are few and far apart, and they've slowed down dramatically. Within the last day, he's looking at this. Within the last day, let's add this up in the last 24 hours, 10, 20, 25, 40. $40, right? If we don't count this $300, I think this is beyond the 24-hour mark. It says 1 day ago. I think this is beyond the 24-hour mark. So within the last 24 hours, he's managed to raise $40. Ugh. And it's only going to keep slowing down. Even if he keeps getting these random $100, $300, $200 donations every once in a while, ain't no way that's going to hit $100,000. And so I'd be surprised if he ends up raising more than $50,000. Sir, $50,000, that's less than what the average American makes in a year. That's not enough for you to live on. You can't retire on this shit. You can't. You're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. This man has ruined his entire life for no fucking reason. Fighting for a right, freedom of speech, the First Amendment, a right he already has. A right that he used to destroy his own life. And this is the destiny of the grand majority of white people who go down this road. And so I implore you, all the people listening to this, especially black people, when you see people like this, don't take them too seriously. Don't put hands on them. Don't give them, because that's what they will use to go and run and beg for money. These people are destroying themselves. They're destroying their lives. And if history teaches us anything, is that progressivism and progression is inevitable. Society is only going to become more tolerant and less bigoted as time goes on. Women have gotten more rights, gay people have gotten more rights, black people have gotten more rights, immigrants are getting more rights. And by 2045, this country will be majority brown. That is what it is. But that is the story of Chud the Builder and his downfall. But you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.